Yeah. Did I get that in time? I don't know if I got that in time. Hey, it's your good friend. It's your pal. It's your compadre. It's TC, everybody. How you doing? What's going on the big show today? Well, originally when I started doing the show, at least test shows, I was doing them at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern. And after doing it about a month, I've decided that I want to kind of go back to that 3 p.m. Pacific time. So here we are. I don't know if anybody will show up for the live show, but hey, I'm still having a good time all the time. Like Viv Savage from Spinal Tap, baby. Come on now. So there you go. We are live. Welcome to Rock This Town Live. And we are here every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. 5 Central, and that is 3 Pacific. So not too shabby. What's going on the big show today? Well, we're talking what we always like. I always like reliving the past. We'll relive the past with a little Foreigner and Iron Maiden on the same bill back in the 80s. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Also, Ozzy. A little news on Ozzy. There was supposed to be a documentary that aired on the BBC One last night that got pulled at the last minute. Deep Purple. Lars Ulrich loves himself some Deep Purple. We'll talk about Lars's favorite live record of all time. You could probably guess what it is. Also, Dimebag Darrell being immortalized with an action figure. Almost just over 3.5 inches of Dimebag Darrell love. So there you go. And then, my favorite thrash metal records of all time. Maybe not my favorite, but I think the consensus favorite. One day I got to do my favorite thrash metal records of all time. But with this list, so here's what happened. So because the schedule was different and Tuesdays, every other Tuesday is a little bit different for us, for Jen and I at the house. So we had to leave the house for a while and then we came back. So I was running late on a bunch of stuff. So as it turns out, no Maiden today as far as Maiden's top 5 records, but I am going to do the thrash metal records. So I actually got a bunch of. I should tell you what I did before the show started. So I've got a bunch of lists here. Let's see. I got the Aerosmith top 5. Is that right? What was the Aerosmith top 5? Oh, yeah, top 5 Aerosmith records. I think I actually did that on the show. Best new metal albums, Bon Jovi top 5, Motley Crue top 5. Ooh, the top 10 songs from Garage Inc. I don't know if I've done some of these. Maybe I have. Jake E. Lee's top songs, Metallica Ride the Lightning top songs, Ozzy's best opening acts, Priest top 6, Purple versus Sabbath. Okay, I remember that. Thrash metal, Metallica's top 10 albums, top 10 hair albums of the 90s. Oh, I think I did do that one. And then top 15 thrash songs as well. There was another one in there as well. What's QT? Oh, Quentin Tarantino movies. So anyways, I digress. So anyways, that's what's coming up on the live show. Where did I lost my screen here? There we are. Cool. Thank you. All right. And then I think that's it, kind of. So that's kind of what's going on there. I always like to start the show by reliving the past, baby, because reliving the past is super fun. This was a bill that happened at Anaheim Stadium, the Big A in Anaheim, home of the California Angels back in the day, with Rod Carew on the team after he'd been traded by the Twins to the Angels after Rodney had wanted more money. Ironically, Rodney never won another batting title in California, but he still did really well. And his number has been retired. Number 29 has been retired by not only the Twins, but also the California Angels, also the Anaheim Angels of Anaheim, or whatever they're called, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They've had a lot of names there. Also, I was thinking about it. I remember when I was Reggie Jackson, Reggie Jackson, number 44. I remember when I was 44 years old. I also remember when I was Rod Carew, 29 years old. So anyways, I was really young when this show happened. I would have never been here. But July 17th, 1 p.m. in 1982, who's headlining but Foreigner? Makes sense to me, right? Okay, Foreigners. The big dog back in 82, man. They just had the record come out. What was it? Foreigner 4? And Loverboy actually is second on the bill. Scorpions hadn't really broken in the U.S., and then Maiden was a fairly new band. So it's funny that Iron Maiden kind of opened the show, and then the Scorpions came on, and then Loverboy, and then Foreigner. Now, if we were to rejigger that to a modern time, I don't know. In America, obviously Maiden would be the headliner. but Foreigner still packs them in, surprisingly. So I almost think that Foreigner might be the number 2 band still, and then the Scorpions at 3, and then finally Loverboy at 4. So there you go. So yeah, a different day, not a different day, but a different time here. Armagen hanging out and James hanging out. Hey, cool. How you doing, James? Good to see you. Beat After Beat today was going to be here, but I think you probably forgot about the time change. Oh, that's what happens these days. So anyways, what else is going on? But of course, if you missed the show, you can always rewatch it back on that wonderful platform called Facebook, or on, well, maybe not wonderful on Facebook, but it is Facebook, and then or that mediocre platform called YouTube, which is a pretty good platform, I guess, for the most part. And then, of course, the podcast is available. So if you want to listen to the podcast on the way home tonight, you can. So there you go. Apple Music, Spotify, et al. So an Ozzy Osbourne documentary was supposed to air last night on the BBC at 9 p.m. UK time. I guess that would be Greenwich Mean Time. And it was pulled at the last minute out of the respect to the family's wishes. So this was going to basically be a documentary about Ozzy and his desire to move from California back to Birmingham, back to England, and kind of the story of that and what that process was like. I mean, for you and I, it'd probably just be like, okay, let's do X, Y, and Z. For a quote unquote major rock star, there's probably a lot of stuff going on when it comes to moving everything and all the possessions you acquire over the years. And moving from California across the world in some ways back to England. So there you go. But yeah, got pulled. Hopefully we'll see it in the future. It was supposed to be on the BBC last night, and I think that would be interesting. Jen and I actually the other night started watching the Billy Joel documentary on HBO Max, and I gotta say, I think it was interesting. I just didn't think it was done that well. We made it through almost the first episode, which is like 2.5 hours long. It's crazy how long that documentary is. And then there's a second part as well. So, but it's a little self-indulgent, like you'd expect it to be. Billy seems like a level-headed guy, but sometimes telling some of the stories was just like, okay, keep moving along here. I'm a Billy Joel fan from the 80s. Give me Uptown Girl every day of the week. The rest of it, I could take it or leave it. I did find out that Billy Joel wrote Piano Man while he was in a contract dispute with his first record label when he was playing as Bill Martin as a piano player at some bar in Los Angeles. He was like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to take any money from the record label. I'm just going to go out and I'm going to be Bill Martin. His real name is Billy, or William, probably Joel Martin. So he goes out and he works in a piano bar, and that's how he ended up writing Piano Man. So there you go. Small wonders on a wonderful thing. James says it's a good documentary for the background. Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that. So very cool. Lars Ulrich has said that I know Lars is a big fan of Deep Purple. Deep Purple, I love Deep Purple too. I mean, like Deep Purple in Europe and other places are maybe as big as, say, are maybe as big as bands like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. But in the United States, for whatever reason, they never broke that big. But obviously Lars grew up in Europe. So it makes sense that Lars basically says that Made in Japan from Deep Purple, it just got reissued on 10 LPs. I kid you not, a 10 LP box set. I know that Corey, who is a local favorite of ours, he collected a bunch of Deep Purple stuff. And probably, what was it, Sean? I think Sean as well loved himself some Deep Purple as well. But Lars Ulrich calls Made in Japan the best hard rock album ever made. That's a bold statement, my friend, because I can think of some pretty damn good records. In fact, I have one coming up as my vinyl of the day from Record Store Day from these guys. So I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. That's actually a really good record from 1977. Made in Japan came out in 1972. So yeah, this box set is amazing. 10 LPs. I think it's got some DVDs in it as well, or CDs. But yeah, very cool. Deep Purple's YouTube channel featured a new 3-minute video featuring Lars discussing the reissue. So I guess if you're going to get anybody, why not get the drummer from the biggest, one of the biggest bands in the world going, and have him talk about Mr. Ian Pace on the drums, and then everybody else, that classic lineup: John Lord, Richie Blackmore, Roger Glover, and Ian Gillan as well. So there you go. You ever wanted to be immortalized with 3.75 inches? Well, there you go. You finally can be. Well, maybe not you, but Dimebag Darrell apparently is getting an action figure from a company called Super 7. I think these are the guys that were doing the action figure for Rob Halford. So there you go. You got a singer, you got a guitarist now. I should see if there's any other Super 7. Let me see. Oops. Super 7 action figures. Let's see who else they got there. Let's see. They got a 50% off sale. That's probably not a good thing. They got G.I. Joe. Okay. All right. Let's see. Latest and greatest music. Here we go. Dimebag Darrell. Very nice. MF Doom. If you love yourself some MF Doom. This website is horrible. I can't get it to work right. Okay. Jay Dilla. Devo. Okay. Is that Devo? And then Type O Negative. So, okay, cool. Type O Negative. I guess that would be Peter Steele. Yes, Peter Steele of Type O Negative, who obviously passed away a number of years ago. And Type O Negative is not doing anything, obviously, since his passing. Ghostface Killer. Oh, no, there's Spinal Tap. Oh, my God. This is terrible. Spinal Tap, Motley Crue figures for $80. You can get Motley Crue. Sabotage from the Beastie Boys. You can get the, now that's kind of cool. Little action figures. Hang on a second. Let me drop this in there. Now that's actually pretty cool. Let me find the Sabotage one, and I'm going to replace Dimebag Darrell here, and we'll drop him in there so you can see what that looks like. There you go. It's like a little Legos almost, right? That's pretty cool. You know, I'd be interested in that one. All due respect to Dimebag, but the Beastie Boys one is actually a little more fun in my humble opinion. This is the worst website. There's also a Ghost one and a Misfits one, among others. Yeah, there's actually a bunch. So a lot of people love to collect stuff, right? And so there you go. Not too shabby. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, if you want to be on the show, you certainly can. I need to start reaching out to some more people. I know I talked about doing something with Sandy and some other people, and it's just kind of fallen through the cracks with some other stuff I've been working on. So, but I got to get that humping, and that's a good way to get it humping. All right. So, best thrash albums of all time. This is probably not the hardest list to come up with, and maybe I was a little bit too generous with some bands and not generous enough. So like those first 4 Metallica records probably should in hindsight be on the top 10, right? Kill 'Em All isn't on the list, and Justice isn't on the list. And in my mind, yeah, you kind of probably need to kick Creator off, all due respect to Creator. And then Exodus, Bonded by Blood, probably that one needs to go. And Megadeth, it's like, well, let's see, Rust in Peace, Peace Sells. Do I put anything else from Megadeth on there? Maybe. And I might put another Anthrax album on there. So, but anyways, so here's the top 10. You can tell me if you think I'm Meshuggah or crazy. I've got Creator, Exodus, and then Testament. Megadeth with Peace Sells. Come on. That is a great kind of quote unquote thrash record. You know, it's so funny when I think back to thrash music in the 80s. It was like, oh my God, this stuff is so hard and it's amazing. And it's just crazy. And now you think about these thrash records and they've kind of become mainstream, right? Master of Puppets. I mean, hell, that was in Stranger Things. You can't get any more mainstream than that. I mean, Megadeth has kind of become mainstream where I'm sure Walmart is selling their shirts. Slayer to a certain degree as well. So it's kind of like weird. And then now we've got like Swedish death metal, which I guess would be the kind of the extreme there. So anyways, I digress. 6, I've got South of Heaven by Slayer. 5 is Anthrax, a band I really like. I think I really want to get into that catalog because it's a band that I've listened to in the past, but I've never really gone full in on listening to Anthrax, like I have with Megadeth and Metallica, especially in recent years. In the last year, I've gotten into a lot of kind of more deeper stuff from Metallica. So, anyways, Ride the Lightning at number 4, Rust in Peace. I mean, come on, Holy Wars. And Dave Mustaine can do it up, man, when it comes to thrash. Slayer, Rain in Blood, of course, and then finally Master of Puppets at number 1. So that's my list. Take it for what you want. I think it's a pretty good list, though I would make some changes. I would put all 4 Metallica records on there, and I might put what's the record? I guess Countdown to Extinction. Maybe you could put that on there. Or you could put Killing Is My Business from Megadeth on there as well. And then I'd probably put an Anthrax record on there. Just because the big 4 are the big 4. Honestly, the big 4 should probably be all the top 10. At least that's my humble opinion on that one. So there you go. Not too shabby. New vinyl announcements today. Now, this is kind of cool. This is a coffee table book. So our friend Kramer from Seinfeld would be ecstatic about this one. The Pretty Reckless Going to Hell 10th Anniversary Plum Purple Colored Vinyl as a coffee book. Okay. So I would assume there'll be plenty of pictures of Taylor Momsen and company. Do I have the right band, Taylor Momsen? I think Taylor is the lead singer of that band. Now I've got to check here. Hang on a second. If you know that, you can comment or you can say it in the chat. Let's see. The Pretty Reckless. Is it Taylor Momsen? I think it is. Yeah. So I was right. Cool. That comes out October 24th. $70. But it's a cool looking vinyl. I'm sure the original cover there with Taylor on the cover with the little arrow on her back and stuff like that, as she's kind of topless, will be part of the hardback, no pun intended, coffee table book there. So there you go. Something to look forward to as Christmas is coming. We are what, 4 months? Is that right? No, that can't be right. Let's see. We got September, October, November, December. Ooh, so we are 4 months from Christmas now. So Christmas is coming around the corner. If you know a Pretty Reckless fan, or if you're a Pretty Reckless fan, then boom, that's what it's got going on for you if you're interested in that bad boy. Creator, speaking of Creator, have their 14th studio record coming out. It's a 2 LP on red vinyl, comes out September 19th. So that's I guess 1 month from today, priced at $36. Not too bad. The record's called Gods of Violence. So there was a guy that would come in. Oh, it was Mike Kennedy's buddy. What was, damn it. I can't remember his name right now. I can see him. I can see him in my head. I know what he looks like, but I can't remember his name right now. But anyways, he was a big metal guy, and it's always fun to find metal guys in their 50s who are like, yeah, I got Creator records. I got everything you can imagine when it comes to metal. I was sending away overseas from Europe and getting all these metal records back in the day. And I'm like, ooh, that is so super cool. So anyways, but yeah, he actually, I think, brought a couple of Creator records into the store once, and then some other stuff that was very European-based metal from back in the day. So there you go. But if you're a fan of Creator, like potentially this guy is, you can get another 2 LP, brand new. They always have really cool covers of metal too, I gotta say, for the most part. Not 100%, but for the most part, in my humble opinion. Limp Bizkit, everybody's favorite Limp Bizkit. This is at Rock IM Park in 2001. It's only 1 LP, and it's 100 beans. $100 if you're interested in it. Why is it cool? It's liquid filled. So it's one of those records where you can move it around and you can kind of see it there in the picture. Comes out November 14th, 100 beans. And just one single LP with kind of everything you'd want from Limp Bizkit on a record, at least as far as the big hits, because it's 2001. So what did they hit the scene? Probably in like 98 or something. So I think most of their records, let me find the Limp Bizkit discography really quick. I think kind of their big records had come out by then, in my humble opinion. So let's see here. The discography has $3 Bill Y'all, came out in 97, 99, Significant Other, and then Chocolate Starfish. So those are kind of the big 3 records from Limp Bizkit. So you're getting all the good stuff from those 3 records. If you're into a little Limp Bizkit. And then Yellow Card has their 11th studio album coming out called Better Days. I actually dig the color of the vinyl. There's an indie exclusive for your favorite local record store. Pink and yellow splatter vinyl. It comes out on October 10th, 2025, and the price is $30. See, that's one of the things you can always do, because there's a bunch of record stores here in Phoenix that don't do any online. There's the Zias of the world and places like that, but there's local stores here in Phoenix, like where we got this one at Asylum Records, that bad boy, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, in Chandler. And I'm sure if you went in there and you said, Scott, I want to pre-order that Limp Bizkit record, he'd probably hook you up, and we could pre-order it right just kind of on the premises, and then when it comes in, boom, you go pick it up, and hopefully he didn't forget that he's pre-sold it, and he puts it out and it sells. So hopefully nothing like that happens. But just an example of, record stores are usually pretty amenable. There's some record stores where being run by Corvo and A-hole. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about that. But there's a lot of other record stores that are pretty amenable. Scott is pretty amenable for the most part if he likes you. I always help if he likes you. And hopefully, he always liked Jen and I. So there you go. Hey, if you're digging the show, and I know we're doing it at a completely different time today, and that's starting as of today. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 5 Central, 3 Pacific. If you missed the show, you can rewatch on that bad boy called Facebook or on YouTube. And then, of course, you can check out the podcast as well. But if you're digging the show, I'd appreciate it if you smash the like button. And if you want to tell a friend or family member about the show, that would be super cool as well. Oh, let me check the chat really quick and see if I'm missing anything. I don't think I am. Jen mentions that she would vote for more Anthrax on my top thrash records. I would agree. Anthrax is a super cool band. And then she says she doesn't want to know what the liquid is with the Limp Bizkit record. No, nobody wants to know what that is. So Slaughter, Sebastian Bach, and Quiet Riot doing a show at the Mohegan Sun. I think that is in Connecticut, if memory serves. And that's coming up on October 17th. That just got announced. If you're a fan of Skid Row, Slaughter, or Quiet Riot, of course, Quiet Riot is down to Rudy Sarzo in the band. Carlos Cavazo, who was the guitarist, when Quiet Riot was big. Obviously, Randy Rhoads was there originally and got recruited by Ozzy. And then Carlos Cavazo was the guitarist on Metal Health and stuff like that. He actually plays with Stephen Piercy now, of all things. So go figure. And then Slaughter, ironically, their drummer, Blas Elias, plays with Stephen Piercy. And then Sebastian Bach has performed on stage with Stephen Piercy. So it's kind of incendiary. Not incendiary. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. Cheap Trick announced some concert dates today, and Jen is excited about this because there is a date in Phoenix on November 9th. Cheap Trick live in concert. They're playing in Chandler, Arizona at a casino over there. Let's see, where else they playing? Alabama, Roll Tide, indeed. New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Massachusetts, California, Nevada. Very nice. Another date in California, Madison, Wisconsin, and then kind of getting back home because they're from Rockford, Illinois. I don't know if all the guys still live in Rockford. I think Rick Nielsen has a home in Rockford, though. They're going to be in Iowa, I guess. So pretty close to Rockford, Illinois. I saw this got announced. This is Nickelback. So for all the haters out there who hate Nickelback, oh, I'm so wonderful. I love Pearl Jam and the Beatles and U2 and that's the only bands there because that's what the music critics like. Right there. I love everybody. I love the Beatles. I love U2. I really love U2. U2's great. And then I love Pearl Jam, but I also love Nickelback. I'm not afraid to admit it. I am a Nickelback fan. I worship their music. I'm like Michael Bolton. And what's the line from Office Space? When he's talking to the two Gregs or the two Daves or whatever. I'm a Nickelback fan. So there you go. Apparently, they're playing the baseball stadium here where the Diamondbacks play, Chase Field, on November 7th. So, wow. I don't know if the Beatles are playing any stadiums these days. Well, suppose they're really not with us anymore. Or if U2's playing any stadiums, they probably would play stadium. Or if Pearl Jam is playing, well, maybe they might be able to play stadium. I know they play Chicago Wrigley Field a lot, so there you go. But yeah, Nickelback playing a live show. All right. With Treaty Oak Revival opening, apparently. Don't know who that is. No idea on who Treaty Oak Revival is. So there you go. Steel Panther, a band that kind of came out of the 80s hair explosion and wanting us to go back to the 80s, especially in the last 15 years. These guys have a sense of humor about themselves, which I love entirely. Like the bass player always checking himself out with a mirror on the stage. That's funny in my humble opinion. But they announced some more tour dates. And that's, let's see where they do it. They're doing a lot of East Coast stuff, it looks like, and then Florida. I didn't say I was going to take her to Florida. I said I was going to Tampa with her. Exactly. They're doing Jacksonville, Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, and Ormond Beach. So, yeah, there you go. If you're into Steel Panther, and they've got some decent songs. I don't know if Gang Bang at the Old Folks Home would qualify as a good song, but it is a song that Steel Panther has, and that's the kind of band they are. They're very much tongue-in-cheek, very tongue-in-cheek. So it's kind of a whole lot of fun there. So there you go. All right. Just a reminder, we are live. I'm probably actually going to extend this on Facebook through the end of the year. So I'm going to actually need to update that graphic tomorrow. We are live, of course, on YouTube and on Facebook. Boom, through the end of the year. And that is starting at 6 p.m. Eastern now, a time change, 5 Central and 3 on the West Coast. So there you go. My vinyl of the day is this bad boy. And I can tell you a story about this because we got this at Asylum Records on Record Store Day a number of years ago. Let me see if it says if there's a date on here. It doesn't really tell me the Record Store Day. So it's a Record Store Day copy of Cheap Trick, Out to Get You Live in 77. Jen and I remember listening to this at the house here, and it is a fantastic record from 1977. Let me tell you the track list here. It's a good track list. I got to say, Hello There, Come On, Come On, Oh Candy, Speak Now or Forever Hold Your Peace, ELO, Kitties, oh, Hello Kitties, I get it. Hot Love, Southern Girls, Cry Cry, Big Eyes is on here. What else is on here? Clock Strikes 10, great song. Taxman, Mr. Thief. Ain't That a Shame? I love Ain't That a Shame. That is, they do that so good. Avita Jane, and then also Good Night, and a bunch of other stuff. Recorded back in 1977 at the Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood. So you see the price on this. Can you see the price? Let me see if you can see the price. It's right over there. You can't really see it, unfortunately, but it's $39.99. I remember buying this. So we ended up going to Asylum Records, bought this for $39. And it turns out Scott had mispriced the record. So I think this was selling for like $26.99 as a Record Store Day release. I think we went over to Zia Records. We might have gone over to the In Groove as well that day just to check out some other stores. And I'm seeing this record still available at these places after we stood in line at Scott's. It's like $26.99. What the hell? So we stopped by Scott's again. And I say, everybody else charging $26.99 for this bad boy, and you're charging $39. What the hell? He's like, don't worry about it. I'll make it right. And he did. He's a good guy. So he made it right. Jen bought probably some hair metal record she had been looking for, and Scott was like, I'll take $15 off. I'm like, well, okay, Scott, very cool. So great, a great guy over there at Asylum. I feel like I'm doing a commercial for Scott. So anyways, I digress. But great record. I don't know if you've ever seen Cheap Trick live. They are a fantastic band because Jen has taken me to see them live now because she loves Cheap Trick. Her 2 bands, Leopard and Cheap Trick. And then after that, mix of Van Halen, all kinds of different stuff. Bon Jovi, yes, Jen? Maybe Slaughtered, Goo Goo Dolls, all kinds of stuff like that. So anyways, there you go. All right, cool. I appreciate Jen and James hanging out with me today. And if you were hanging out with me as well, James, you're supposed to be a good boy. James dropping in "Eatin' Ain't Cheatin' is the Steel Panther's best song." So there you go. Well, there you go. All right. So there you go. Boom. The hammer came to I can't top that one, James. So there's no topping that one. I think I need to basically admit my wrongdoing yesterday by saying that Paul McCartney's career was not as good as Rob Zombie's and as at least his solo career, and admit my mistake there, since James just dropped the hammer on me on the Steel Panther song titles of all time. So there you go. All right, cool. I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I appreciate you hanging out with me, finding the show in case you found us a little earlier today. And yeah, that's it. Big show in the book. I appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful night, and a reminder, 6 p.m. now Eastern. That is 5 Central and 3 Pacific.